you face a serious diagnosis, you revisit the things that matter. Anybody out there who's been through a serious health issue or even seen a loved one go through that, So you need to think about who would be your successor trustee. Who have you empowered to step in to manage your finances, to make medical decisions for you? And it's not who you love the most, by the way. It's someone who you can rely on, someone who is organized and responsible. And if you don't have anybody in your immediate family who can do it, you might look to other close relatives, close longtime family friends. And if you don't have anybody in those circles, that's where you might look to the world of professionals, where there are professional fiduciaries. There are bank trust departments. And sometimes we attorneys occasionally serve as trustee as well. So you need to think about that. And right now, other key decisions that you have to make if you face a diagnosis, whether it's dementia or a cancer diagnosis where you're going to undergo a lot of rough treatment, you might want to consider giving power right away. And what do I mean by that? In your trust, you could name someone as your trustee right now. If I wanted to give my wife Vera full power over my own living trust, I could do that. Or if you want to give your eldest child the ability to really step in and manage your assets right away, you can do that. You can name them as the trustee right now. You can always revoke that and change it as long as you have capacity. In your power of attorney document, they can either be springing, meaning the person who you name can only step in if you're incapacitated and they have a doctor's note showing that, but you can actually give someone power of attorney right away. So you need to feel really good about who you're naming to even consider giving someone the power right away. But if you face a serious health issue, you may want to consider giving the people you've named in your documents or the people you're thinking about naming the ability to step in right away, where they don't have to show doctor notes that, hey, just step in right away for me. You can always take it back, but I can make life easier for you if you have the right people named. And how do you put a plan into place? Work with an expert attorney. You can, again, share this with somebody who needs to know. I hope it's with us at Gilfix and the Poll. If you're in California, we can help you. But regardless, don't do it on your own. Don't try this at home. The stakes are too high. Online services or downloadable forms, they can be fine, but we see sometimes people make horrible decisions in them just because you don't know what you don't know. So work with an attorney, and especially when you face a medical issue, the stakes are so much higher. Make sure they're done right. Get expert guidance on making those decisions. And once you do, when you work with us, we get decisions. We send out drafts within usually a couple of weeks. You review them, and once you confirm them, you sign them with a notary. It doesn't have to be in an attorney's office. You can have a mobile notary come to you. Sometimes people sign documents at home, sometimes even in hospitals when they have long-term stays. That's not that uncommon if you have a serious issue. And let's say you're in an emergency. Let's say you have a medical emergency. How are your estate planning documents? How do they come in? Well, if you become ill or serious issues, you can resign as trustee and someone signs the acceptance. You have to work with an attorney to do this. Someone can step in, but you should give copies of the documents to banks. You need to make sure that the powers that be have evidence you've given powers to your loved ones to step in. If you have a trust that says my backups can only step in if I'm incapacitated, let's say you're the family member helping out a loved one, a parent, and they're the ones who are sick, you're going to need to get notices of incapacity from doctors. You'll probably need 2 separate doctors to write notes. They know how to do this, to say, in my view, Mr. Smith, based on my medical expertise, Mr. Smith can no longer, based on a medical issue, manage his own finances. There's phrasing that doctors use. I'm not an expert at that. When I need it, I know it. But you need a doctor's note, and ideally 2 separate doctor's note. You present those with a copy of the documents to the bank, to the financial institution, to the Social Security office. You give them copies along with those doctor's notes. So you should keep copies. There's no reason not to give copies of your power of attorney to your banks. There's no reason not to give copies of your advance directive ahead of time to hospitals. And they need to see these if and when the time comes when you'll need help. So get the documents done in an emergency or ahead of time. Give copies to institutions. If you're the one stepping in for a loved one, get those notices of incapacity along with copies of the documents and use those to get access to managed accounts or to make medical decisions. What can you do to protect your family, your hard-earned legacy, and your rights and your health and safety? I hope nobody out here faces a diagnosis, but I know many of you have. Again, you're not alone. I've been through this. My wife has been through this. Many people I know and love and have worked with have been through this. But overcome the danger of delay and denial. Don't think, well, this will never happen to me, or, well, it did happen to me, but I'll get to this later. Your estate planning documents, they're not just dry legal documents. They're about empowering people that you love and trust to step in for you. They govern everything in your life. They literally can determine the course of your future and your care if and when you need it. If you don't work with a lawyer up front, your family's going to be stuck working with lawyers later and spending a lot more money. So let's be let's plan ahead of time. Our team is not just me, by the way. We have a great team of estate planning experts: Nick Klingenberg, Renee Conrad, me, Mark Gilfix, Michael Gilfix, Francis LaPaul. We have an amazing team, over 120 years of combined experience. We would love to get the chance to work with you at Gilfix and LaPaul. Subscribe to our Gilfix Law YouTube channel. It's growing every day. We're getting tens of thousands of views. Maybe you're watching this on our Gilfix Law channel. If you are, leave a comment, like this video, subscribe. For those of you on Instagram, I just launched a professional Instagram channel. It's instagram.com/just my name, Mark Gilfix. So I just launched that. I'm doing 60-second, 30 to 80-second videos with quick legal and planning tips, along with some health tips that I've picked up along the way through my incredible and insane journey that I went through over the last few years. And to anybody out there who is facing a serious diagnosis or just had that, or maybe it's a loved one, you're not alone. You can gain so much wisdom through it, but I know it's hard. And that's why I wanted to share my story. I've been through it. Wife's been through it. Many people I know and love have been through it. I've had so many clients go through these really challenging situations. So I hope this helped to empower you and to understand that there are resources out there. There are steps you can take, and let's control what we can control. Of course, if you want to contact us, it's easy to find us. We can always review your estate plan. We can be that resource. If you or a loved one faces that diagnosis, we can find us easily at Gilfix and Gilfix.com, 650-493-8070. It's pretty easy to find us online. I hope you got a lot out of this, and I hope everybody is staying safe, sane, and healthy. Let's stay in touch. Thank you so much for joining me here today.